Thanks for joining. I know it has been more than a little while since the last time I was able to do one of these. This is the Floof and Feathers webcomic series live stream. Uh, you try to do this every week just to show the final update on the comic before it comes out on Friday. Wasn't able to last week. Wasn't able to make it. Just had some changes going on at home and it needed to just have an afternoon to myself. So I do apologize. It's been a while, but thank you to everyone for just kind of bearing with me through that little bit of a gap in content in terms of streaming and videos. But hey, I'm back now, so everything's good. So we are finishing up the comic. This is going to be coming out tomorrow, Friday morning, but going to be showing the drawing process for putting the final product together. This one probably going to go fairly quickly, as you can see from the preview. There are a lot of very dark shadows. Um, Kind of going with a surprise party theme for this one. For anyone who maybe didn't catch it on social media last week, this past weekend was our dog Pippin's first birthday or first gotcha day with us. We think he's about 2.5 years old, something around there. But just if you know anything about the background that he came from, he did not get to celebrate his very first birthday. That just wasn't something that was done with him, which people like us who love our animals so much, that's just absolutely unthinkable. So we decided to celebrate his birthday with him. Took him out to the park, took him to the pet store and let him pick out a new toy and stuff. I think he had a good time. Also got him a little some a birthday cupcake while we were at the pet store, and he seemed to really enjoy that. I think he had a good time getting to actually celebrate a birthday for the first time. So that being the case, as with so many comics in the series, taking a lot of inspiration from real life. So just drawing a little cartoon this week all about Pippin getting a surprise birthday party because that is essentially what actually happened. He didn't know that he got a birthday celebration, even though he's been part of a birthday party for Finnegan and Olivia. Both of their birthdays are earlier in the year than his. So he's been through that before, or he's been to another pet birthday before, but I don't think he realized that he actually gets to have one of his own, which again, in my opinion, that's just wrong. So we decided to correct that situation. So giving him a surprise party both in real life and in the comic strip. Again, just going to be a lot of heavy shadows here. Um, he's peeking in through the doorway. And again, even for me, even something this simple is very different. I usually use a lot of whoa, that was way too much. I usually use a lot of brighter colors. Try to go easy on the shadows, unless you've seen one of my previous detective noir style inspired comics that I've done occasionally. I've done I think two of those previously. Um, it's a much different kind of vibe than what I usually draw. Um, I don't know about that, but yeah, this is definitely you know a little bit different from what I normally do, but that's okay. It's always fun to try try new things. Like with last week, I know I didn't get a chance to do a stream for it, but last week, the comic that I put out had the three of them trying to help out with some work on my car, and I don't know if anyone could tell, but I am not very good at drawing vehicles. I know I mentioned that in one of the Willy Wonka parody comics that I did a few weeks ago as well, where I was drawing them in the boats and how I didn't really plan that. I didn't really think that through before I drew it. And then kind of in the moment as I was putting the comic together, I remembered, oh yeah, I don't I don't know how to draw a boat. I should have thought about this and just kind of had to do the best that I could as I went. And I think all in all it turned out okay. Um, Probably should have given myself more time to work on it. But live and learn. And yeah, last week's comic involved a car, which is not usually my strong suit. But thankfully, I gave myself more time to work on the final comic before it came out. I was able to get a little bit of practice in with it, and the end result turned into something that I didn't entirely hate, which is not usually the case when I try to draw, any kind of vehicle. So that was actually a pleasant surprise for me as much as for the reader. But that's all part of the fun is with, trying new things, taking on new art challenges, trying new styles. It's how we learn and grow. We'll go ahead and now we can draw the actual party scene here at the end. Don't worry, this is just fruit punch that Finn is drinking. Finnegan is usually not super picky about what he eats or drinks, but I have to say I can't imagine that he would actually enjoy alcohol. It doesn't seem like the sort of thing that he would go for. There's very little in this world that Finn will not consume, but yeah, I get the feeling that that would probably be one of the things that he would not go crazy for. Lettuce is one of the other things, one of the very few things that he will not eat. If we're having tacos or if we make cheeseburgers or something and we have lettuce with it, he'll always beg for some, and we'll let him have some. Then he just spits it right out and wants nothing to do with it. And then he has the nerve to look at us like, why would you do that to me? And we say, well, you're the one who wanted to eat it. You're the one who was asking for it. And he will just deny that to the moon and back, of course. You know how animals are. Now, Olivia, on the other hand, as I draw her, I have no doubt that she would try to drink alcohol if she was exposed to it. We have to be very careful with our drinks around her. Although she does seem to like herbal tea. We've done that before. She seems to enjoy it. That's about the only The only thing we'll really let her have for a drink apart from just water. She is crazy enough as it is, and she absolutely does not need alcohol in her system. Say for when she does actually turn 21, maybe we'll let her have like a little sip of a margarita to celebrate. Maybe. Depends on how well she behaves. Because I don't know if anyone knew this, but Olivia can be a real booger sometimes. Sometimes. I mean most of the time. She's hilarious, and she's sweet, but she's also very evil. But that's all part of the fun of having a crazy bird. You just never really know what to expect. Go ahead and draw their little party hat strings. I actually need to add, yeah, there we go. A little bit more of a curve to her head there. There we go. That's good. And you know what? Yeah, no, I don't want to share that yet. Let's make sure I'm drawing the boxes actually square. That might help it look a little bit nicer if I do that. Just call it a hunch. So happy to have the grid tool. Makes everything so much easier. There we go. But I think Pippin enjoyed having his first. Oh, hey, I see we have a comment here from Speckle Pretzel. It looks like a howling dog. So thank you for that. I think that's their way of saying hello. And yeah, anyone who knows anything about our dogs, Pippin especially, he does howl quite a bit. I know he's walked by on camera before. But I use a microphone when I'm recording these live streams because otherwise, if anything gets their attention, and I mean anything, they just start howling like crazy. So it's kind of for the best if I try to keep that to a minimum while we're on the stream, because otherwise it can get quite loud. I actually sometimes have to apologize to people at work when I'm on a meeting. If I'm, you know, if I let my guard down and I think it's safe, and I won't have my microphone, and then all of a sudden they'll see something move past the window, and they just go ballistic. I have to say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's the dogs. They're making a lot of noise. Just give me a sec to go find them and ask them to be quiet, and then we can continue." Whoa, there we go. No, we need his nose. Yeah, Pippin especially can get really, really loud. He is I don't know if I've talked about it on stream before. He is a mix of Beagle and Basset Hound. So yeah, you can imagine what that sounds like, I'm sure. He was making quite a lot of noise on his birthday this past weekend as well. He's very excited, especially when we took him to the pet store, picked up his birthday cupcake. They have a little not like not a bakery, but they have a little bakery display in the pet store we went to that has uh, dog safe like little cupcakes and cookies and things like that. So we took him there to get his birthday cake and let him pick out a new toy for himself. And he was just so excited. And everyone there loved him. They just thought he was so funny. He was just howling the whole time that we were in there. So excited he didn't know what to do. Get his tail. Oh, he needs his whiskers. Can't forget those. He takes care of the dogs. So now we'll just go ahead and get the door frame added in. And I think that's actually going to be it for outlining. Like I said, in terms of outlining, this comic is pretty easy because there's really only this one panel. Everything else is just kind of in shadow while he's peeking through the doorway. So, it's a nice little trick if you're ever drawing something and just want to give yourself a little bit of a break. Put as much dark shadow into the picture as you can, because that way you don't have to draw as much. You can always say, "Oh no, it's for the atmosphere." You don't have to tell anyone that you're just trying to give yourself a break. They don't need to know. They don't know the difference. There we go. Let's see. So I'm going to turn off the sketch layer I did previously. Let's take a look. And yeah, that looks like every. Oh, actually, no, I did forget something. See, I always check. So you always double check before you move too far in. There we go. Just that little bit of baseboard in the background behind the open door. It's a small detail, but it'll end up being a pretty important one. Okay. So now I think we are ready to color, which again is not going to take uh, a whole lot of effort, I don't think. We'll go ahead. Let's start with Pippin this week. He's the birthday boy. We'll drop in his color first. I'm actually kind of surprised he's not out here with me while I'm drawing right now, trying to see what I'm doing. I can actually see him. He's over in the room next door, curled up, sound asleep. That's because he had a long morning of chasing squirrels all through the backyard. He's got to rest up. Oh, I need that. There we go. Let's turn that down a little bit. Oh, and I think I've mentioned before, Pippin loves getting dressed up. Um, he especially loves wearing um, sweaters and bandanas. They are his favorites. Right now, I mean, we're in the middle of summer, so he can't really wear his sweaters right now, which kind of bums him out a little bit. But he does have a pretty good collection of bandanas that he likes wearing too. And the one he's wearing right now, it's of course it's his birthday bandana. And even though his birthday was on Sunday, he still has it on. He's not quite ready to take that off yet, so we told him he could wear it for the rest of the week and celebrate his birthday week, but then he's gonna have to pick out a new bandana to put on after that. He can't keep saying it's his birthday forever, even though we know he really wishes it was. I completely understand. So he is walking around the house still wearing his bandana that has pictures of streamers and party balloons and all that on it. But as long as he's happy, he'll especially be happy when it starts getting a little cooler out and he can start wearing his sweaters again, because that is his absolute favorite thing in the world. I've never. Oh, forgot a wine there. Even with double checking, sometimes you still make mistakes. There we go. But I was saying I've never met a dog who loves getting dressed up as much as Pippin. It is so funny. I actually probably need to uh need to get him some more t-shirts, some dog-sized t-shirts pretty soon, just so that he has something to wear while he can't have his sweaters. Poor guy. He keeps them all in a little basket downstairs so that he can get to them. And a lot of times in the morning, he'll go in there and dig through the basket for a couple of minutes and pick out a bandana or a sweater that he wants to wear that day. He'll come find one of us and bring us what he found and just drop it at our feet and be like, "Okay, can I wear this today, please?" And we have to help him get dressed in whatever he picked out, and then he just prances off and he's all happy, made his day. But yeah, it is just the funniest thing. I've never seen a dog be that happy about it. 'Cause it feels like most dogs really do not like it when you put clothes on them. Pippin seems to be an exception to that rule because he absolutely loves it. Finn, we make do for him with putting bow ties on his collar usually. He's really not much for getting dressed up in dog clothes, but he does really seem to enjoy the collar attachment bow ties and stuff. He seems to really like that. So we let him have that. Livia, we can't find anything in her size. Closest we have are some really tiny little decorative Santa hats that we found, and trying to trying to ease her into the idea of wearing one of those around the holidays because it would be absolutely adorable. Um, so far, she does not seem too thrilled about the idea. As I know I've mentioned before numerous times, everything is scary when you are a bird. Anything that is new or different or unusual in any way, shape, or form, it is instantly the most terrifying thing in the world, and that includes tiny little Santa hats. So we are trying with some mixed success to get her open to the idea of wearing one, even if nothing more than just a fun, goofy little Christmas card one year, get her picture in it. I'd be perfectly happy with that even. So she's currently at the point where at least seeing the little Santa hat, having it in front of her, it doesn't immediately spook her. She doesn't run away. So that's at least, I guess, something of a victory in and of itself. I'll take it. Still have not quite gotten to the point of actually getting one of the hats on her head, though. Still working towards that. Maybe this year. Who knows? Oh, I don't like the red on that at all. I'm going to do yellow. So who knows? Maybe this year. Or that's probably actually just wishful thinking on my part. We got her one of those little jungle gym tree play sets to play on that most birds normally love, and it took us the better part of a year to get her acclimated to it to the point where she would even be in the same room with it, let alone actually play on it. So, you just never know. I think if we found a Santa hat for Pippin, he would probably really enjoy that. So that might be something to look into for this year. Who knows? Might have to get our dog a Santa Claus hat. I think we've tried to put one on Finn. That went about as well as you would expect. Did not like it at all. But Pippin, I feel like he might actually get a kick out of that. So we'll have to see. Oh, let's see. Pick out a ribbon color. That's not too bad. That's always a good option when you don't really know what color to use. Just randomly click on something from your palette and just see what looks good. The old tried and true method. shading there on the ribbons. So even though Pippin had a lot of fun for his birthday, yeah, I think he's a little upset that it's over. Not or not upset, but he's a little bummed that it's over now. He has to wait till next year for his birthday again. Poor little guy. But I'm sure he'll survive somehow. Oh, and I need a ribbon for the bone. Let's go ahead and add that on. Can't forget that. There we go. So I think now we can go ahead. Or, well, yeah, Finn needs his fruit punch. There we go. So I think now we can go ahead and throw in a few colors in the background. And in terms of coloring, that should probably be just about it. That needs cleaned up a little bit. I'm going to do that right now while I'm thinking about it because I know myself and I will forget otherwise. So let's go ahead. Let's see. Actually, now that I think about it, you know what? I should go ahead. Actually, I probably should have done that sooner. Whoops. Oh well. We will make it work. We will need to show the floorboard. Everyone makes mistakes. Most important thing is just making sure that you know how to make the best of it if and when you do. I remember that it was, way back when I had just recently um, started doing these comics. And there was a time where was drawing one and completely forgot to move off of the sketch layer before I started doing the outlining, and then colored over it, and I realized I had done it all on the same layer, and I had to go back and just with a very, very tiny little eraser, go through and erase all of the leftover um, red inking or red sketch lines that were underneath. And it ended up, I mean, it ended up turning out all right, but it was definitely not at all how I was intending to do that particular comic. That one was a little bit of a headache, and that was just my own fault for rushing, for moving along a little too quickly and not paying attention to what I was doing. So but again, live and learn. That's all. That's all part of it. Make that a little bit bigger. Draw Pippin's shadow stretching across the floor there as he opens the door. Okay, there we go. I can get everyone in here. I still need to do some of the shading on their white fur. Add in their speckles. That is always a very, very important part of any comic in the series. I'm actually almost embarrassed to admit this, but there have been not very often, but there have been occasions where after finishing everything else up, there's always so much to do in one of these comics that I actually forgot about putting in the speckles. I got too wrapped up in the rest of the comic and thought I was finished and called it a day. And I didn't realize until the next morning when it posted that they didn't have their speckles in the final comic, and I actually ended up having to uh, go back into Procreate and add the speckles in, and then just very sneakily went onto my website and re-uploaded the comic, a new version that had their speckles in it, and just didn't bring it up, didn't talk about. I'm like, I'm not going to address it, not going to draw attention to it. We'll just do this and just hope that no one notices because that is just kind of embarrassing. So, but again, it happens. Well, there we go. Would help if I use the right pen for that. Get between his whiskers. That's always an easy thing to miss by accident, those little spots. Well, there we go. So I think we should be just about finished with the coloring. So let's go ahead, Get some of those speckles added in. Go. That looks good. Then we can move this layer all the way to the bottom. Just need that last little bit of shading on everyone. Livy's feathers. And get thin. Again, remind myself to stay in the lines. And then just one final little color touch. Look of surprise for Pippin. There we go. Oh, no, we don't want a random red streak in the middle of the screen. That's what we don't want. So now I think that's ready for some text now. And I'm actually going to move it all down here so I can actually see what I'm typing. And I will have to turn down the opacity on that layer when I draw the bubbles, because otherwise I won't know where the text actually is when it goes in. It's all part of the fun of working with really, really dark shadows on these panels, trying to corral the text bubbles. Just one more here. Okay, that looks good. So yeah, before we actually try to draw, there we go. We'll turn that down again so we can actually see what I'm doing. Trying to move the shape. Clicking on just the wrong part of the screen, apparently. There we go. That's better. It's a really useful feature to have to be able to move and correct lines like that, provided that you actually click on the right part of the screen when you want to. See, like that. That time I did it right. Whoa, that was just a little too much erasing. There we go. And too much again. There we go. That's better. Then we can go ahead and get rid of all of that up there. Okay. There. That looks a little bit better. Then we can just add the right color behind all of that. Okay, that actually worked. Thank goodness. Okay, and I think that looks just about finished. So there we go. Like I said, I know that was this was a little bit shorter than what a normal live stream would be, just because there wasn't quite as much complexity to this one. But still, it was it was fun to draw. Always good to have some people here to join along and get to watch the live feed. That's always a good time to be able to do this with everyone. Um, and also just a reminder, if in the future you're ever not and also just a reminder, if in the future you're ever not able to catch a live feed, these videos will also be added to my YouTube channel in a couple of days from now. So you can always catch those there if you're not able to see the live session. If you're in the future and you are watching this on YouTube, then hey, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. You can catch my Twitch live streams typically on Thursdays at noon Eastern. That's subject to change. I haven't gotten into a firm streaming schedule as of yet, but that's what it's been lately. So just keep an eye out on my Reddit page and social media. I give updates on that there just to let people know. Also, if you want to help support Floof and Feathers even further, we are also on Patreon. You can help support the comic there if you enjoy the series, and you also get a ton of bonus content and extra rewards. There are exclusive wallpapers that change every month. Those are available in mobile and desktop formats. I've also started recently doing an exclusive pack of stickers for the month. So right now we have our July stickers out. They're pretty cute. If you haven't seen them yet, I did have some pictures on social media of those. So go check those out and sign up if you want to get a set of those sent to you. There's also an option for you can get every month, pick out a comic from the previous month and get a physical print of it. You can also get access to preview sketches of comics several days before they come out, so you get a little bit of a bonus sneak peek at what's coming before anyone else. And you can also help participate in reader polls when I put those up to share your thoughts and insight on what kind of stuff you might like to see in the series next. So lots of fun stuff you can do, lots of great bonus rewards. Like I said, be sure to check that out if you haven't already. And, just visit the comic at my home website, which is floofandfeatherscomic.com. Pretty easy to remember. So that's worth checking out. And of course, you can find me online and on social media. I have links to all of that in my profile here on Twitch and on my YouTube channel as well, depending on where you're seeing this video. So be sure to give a like, a follow, and just say hi if you have a chance to do so. So anyway, with that, keep a lookout for this comic to come up tomorrow, Friday morning. Thank you all for joining me for this live stream drawing, and I will see everyone next week. Thanks again.